Today's episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by Be Positive Productions and Multimedia Studios, LLC. I like to think of imagination as something akin to a superpower. Used in the right context for good, it can help bolster our aspirations and propel us closer to our goals. We visualize the outcome of our accomplishments and work toward attaining said thing. However, when used to propagate untruths, reality can become distorted. We no longer know what's real and what's not. The more often we repeat something to ourselves, the more likely it is to become our truth, and the lines between perception and reality begin to blur. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap.
Greetings once again to our Chat and Chew podcast. I'm really excited about some things we got going on in Fathers Forever and in our podcast. And Fathers Forever been around since 2008, and sometimes it's good to go back and look at what some of the things that we've done, as well as moving forward as well. So we're starting something this particular season called Where Are They Now? And we are talking about the clients, the guys who've been through our program since 2008. Over 1,200 men have successfully completed our program, both in the child support world, gap in order child program, as well as our transition house world. Coming up in the broadcast later, we have one gentleman that we're going to be talking to. We're also going to be sharing some stories, some of the very, very success stories that we've had since we started in 2008. One particular story I want to share now, I'm really excited every time I tell this story. I call this story, Mr. I Got It Right This Time. Let me set the stage. This guy was behind in the child support, not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He went to, the child support people took him to the show cause hearing where the judge said, okay, we're going to give you a 30-day suspended sentence, but we're going to order you the Fathers Forever program. Well, this gentleman came a couple of times, and then he stopped coming. And then, a little while later, we were back in court. This time, the judge is really kind of infuriated with him. Number one, he's not complying with the court order. He's still behind the child support, and now he's not coming to the class. So she gave him a wake-up call within 10 days of jail time in jail, and we ordered him the Fathers Forever. Well, this time when he got out, he complied. Came to class, did everything he's supposed to do, participated, graduated. About 6 months later, I'm in the courtroom again, and this guy walked up to me, and remember, he said, Mr. Glenn. I said, yeah. He said, I got it right this time. So that's the title. That's where the title came from. He said, I got it right this time. I said, what do you mean? He said, you remember last time y'all put me in jail because I was non-compliant and not. He said, I have been doing everything I've been doing. I got a criminal record. I'm still hoping to find a job. But I called my mother of my child, and I apologized to her, and I stopped cussing her out, and I started spending time with my son, and I pick him up almost every day now. And guess what, Mr. Glenn? I said, what? She wants to suspend my back child support of $10,000. And I said, wow. And she had a right to do that. She didn't have Medicaid and Medicare, so she had a right to spend that money that was, that money was owed to her, and she wanted to give it. She could. And so she was in court that day to have the royalties forgiven. So they went before the judge, and the judge asked them what they were there for, and also she wanted to get the ongoing child support suspended. So the judge asked her, why do you want to spend the $10,000 roughly back child support? She said, because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Spending time with his kids, picking them up. She said, I really didn't need the money. I just wanted him to spend time with his kids. And he's doing it. And then she said something that made me kind of tear up. She said, I don't know what that Father Forever class came from, but I'm glad it did because it changed his life. And now he's spending time with his kids, and I just don't want to be a burden anymore because all I really want him to do anyway was spend time with his son. So the judge said, okay, we'll suspend that. We're not going to suspend the ongoing child support payment. We'll suspend that for a year, but we're not going to stop it. But we will forgive the past due child support that other royalties they owe. And so we walked out of the courtroom, and She reached over and shook my hand. She's like, I don't know what you've done to him, but keep doing it. He's a changed person. He's a good father. And this time I really had to go to the bathroom kind of dry my eyes out. Because that's what it's all about. It's helping these men change their concept, their attitude about being a father and about being a child. So I hope you enjoyed this little story. Again, we're going to be doing this series called What Are They Now? And we'll look forward to see you on the other side of this commercial. Coming up.
Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. This is Glenn Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there are 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families. Okay.
So it's that time again where we get to sit and do some chat with you.
Yes, chat with you. Yeah. So what's going on, James?
Everything's good. I think the whole country is still dealing with heat wave.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're not as hot as Texas right now.
No.
But it's hot though.
Yeah, actually today it's been kind of cool because we got some tornadoes that dipped down a couple times. Somewhere not too far away from here. But we kind of had a cool day because of the rain. Yeah. But it's been really hot the last few days.
Absolutely. But nonetheless, we're still here.
We're still here.
Still here, and we're still doing classes.
Yes.
Whether it be our Monday in-person class, or if we're at the Wake County Detention Center, we're still doing class. So
yes,
that's a good thing.
We got our Zoom classes a couple of new things we're gonna be talking about today. And one of them is
new. Okay.
We starting our Zoom classes back, as well as we got our online class.
Okay.
To start.
All right. So I want to take a quick moment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yes,
just want to let our viewers know we welcome you already, and we're going to welcome you again because you're our friends, friends of ours. So we would like for you to do a couple of things for us, though. If you're on Facebook, if you could like our video, if you could subscribe, well, not subscribe, but if you could follow us.
Right.
And then, as always, we would love to hear comments from you.
Please make
we
comments.
want to know what's going on. Now, if you are with YouTube, if you would just subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share this link with your friends.
Yes.
So if you could do that for us, we would appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, very appreciative. So I know you talked already about getting it right this time. What does that mean? I mean, they heard everything, but to you, what does getting it right?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about some new things, James. We're going to be adding some new things to the table, what we're doing. And actually, this session, we're going to be talking about a story that I did called "I Got It Right This Time."
Okay, that's where it came.
Yeah. So we're going to be adding some new things to our podcast. We're going to do interviews. You and I can still be doing some things, but we're going to be adding some other little segments in it.
Okay.
And one of the ones that I want to focus, I'm really excited about this, because we get to James. We started this in 2008. We started Father Forever in 2008. We kind of went. We still got the 12-week fatherhood component is going strong.
Correct.
And as well as now the transition house is going. So we got both of those legs going together. But back in 2008, we started the fatherhood class, and we've been doing that in the child support court, in family court, in domestic court, and again, child protective service.
Right.
We've been doing those classes that people have been, ordered to come to our program. So what we want to do, James, is go back in and look at some of the clients that we have served over. I think it's been over 1,200 fathers. We have served over the 2008, and we want to go back and bring some of those fathers back on the stage and add them to our podcast.
So we need to hear their story.
Yes, we need to hear their story, what they got out of it, and we're going to call it, "Where Are They Now?"
So I'm going to pretend I'm a viewer, and all I'm going to say is, so you've been keeping up with your guys, or some of the guys, or do you have stats? I heard you mention 1,200. Let's hear about that.
Yes, we've got some stats we're going to talk about. There's been probably 1,200 guys that we have touched to go into our program. Some of them are doing well. Obviously, some of them, have not done so well, including the guys that's in our houses. But we're going to go back and highlight the guys who we get phone calls all the time. Guys calling us back and telling us, asking us, telling us, "I'm doing well.
Right.
I'm glad to see y'all folks still going strong. I want to thank you for what you done for us."
Yes.
We get phone calls like that all the time, almost every week. And we just had an idea of one of our brilliant staff, and I had an idea to go back and say, let's pull some of those guys to the table and let our audience, let our staff as well as viewers see in real time the work that we have been doing for the last, in 2008. The results of it.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and I think we're going to continue to do this. Again, we're going to focus these two topics on this. We're going to interview a couple people, and then I think every episode from now on, we're going to have a little segment called "Where Are They Now?"
Yeah.
And we're going to interview a guy, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, just to keep that going, because I think it's important.
It's nice to hear feedback from the men. So something that we started doing for each of our classes, especially the graduates, is for them to write down a paragraph of what they got out of the program, so that we can share it on our newsletter and things like that. Right. Is that something that you all did prior to this?
Prior to that, James, after every class, we would have them write, "What did I learn today?" Every class. Wow. We would take 5 minutes after the class, and they had to write down, "What did I learn today?" Okay. We kind of got away from that because of COVID, and so now we're getting back to adding those pieces back to the table, to get those things. So we want to, keep a good record of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and just in case we need to make it better, we can always do things better. And getting that feedback was a good thing for me.
Have you ever gotten a survey from them saying you all did a great job, you didn't do such a good job?
Absolutely. That's one of
get rid of this chapter in the book.
Yeah, the book wasn't out when we first got started.
Oh, that's true too.
But we did have when they exit interview, when they finished, they had to come in and do they had to do our exit interview. Part of the interview was a survey. Which class stood out the most to you? Right. And why was that class so important? So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. So coming up next, stay with us. We're going to interview Mr. Lavada Hobbs and his daughter Corey. We're back again. And as I mentioned before we went to the commercial, in 2008 we started Fathers Forever, our 12-week class. I think at that time it was more than 12 weeks. We reduced it down to 12 weeks, but Lavada Hobbs was one of our first clients to come to our class. And then this beautiful young lady I want to make sure I get her name right. Is Chloe. Say it again? Chloe, yeah, it's her name. So she was 6 years old, 4 years old, when we met her back in 2008, 2009. So we invited Lavada and his beautiful daughter to come today to talk to us, and we could get kind of show you firsthand of what we've been doing since 2008. And so, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, and James and I were talking, but we have started a series called "Where Are They Now?" And we're going to go back and interview fathers that we've had come to our program over the last 15, 14, 15 years. And you were the first graduating class. I think we had about 12 or 14 people in that class. And now, actually, you're the first one we interviewing for the Where Are They Now? That's a coincidence. And the father has been following us ever since then. We graduated. He come from time to time and speak to the guys. We haven't seen him a lot because of COVID and everything, but he's almost every summer when he comes, when she comes home to visit him, he always brings her here to talk to see us. And I remember she would be 4 or 5 years old, and she was kind of like you said, you was a little bit what? You was a little bit like crazy. Then you weren't crazy. You was a little girl with a lot of energy, and the water would be in class, and my staff would have her out entertaining her until class is over. So we're gonna dive right into it. I want to tell me a little bit about who you are, and kind of how you got involved in Father's Day.
First of all, 56 years old.
56.
Mm-hmm. And what happened was I got stuck. Not a traffic accident, traffic violation, and I was sentenced like 95 days to prison. So I had to do 95 days in prison.
Wow.
Having driving no license.
Wow.
Yeah, but that incident was a blessing to me because after I did the 95 days, I was able to get my license back.
Wow.
So while I was incarcerated, I read a paper about Fox Forever.
Okay.
And I thought about it, when I get out of here, I have somewhere to go, for Chloe. Try with my daughter back. So that's what I did.
Wow.
And as I was sitting in there, I couldn't wait to get out, come to your class. As soon as I got out, I called you first. You told me when to come and where to go. And I've been ever since.
Wow. Now, I want to say to the audience, we have possibly 12 fathers who came to our program since 2008. I can probably count on one hand the ones that have come voluntarily and stayed with the program. Most of them, they're not coming on their own.
Right.
You got to be ordered to come, and then when they're ordered, half of them will show up.
Yeah, because they think they don't get anything out of the class. But you do, though. If you come in, if you're really serious about getting your kid back, you will get something. Right.
So what's kind of going on with you, between you and the mother of Corey and his family?
That incident, which I didn't appreciate it, but, after I came to the class, listened to you, you told me how to deal with certain situations. So as I was going on in the class, I remember everything you taught me about the situation. So I handled it real well. I didn't get mad at it. I wasn't cussing. All I wanted was my kid, like you say, Don't use big Jimmy to be little Jimmy.
Right. That's a story we use all the time. But I'll get you into what it was. How, coming up, we would, my mom or dad, get us a switch, and then we'll use the switch to use the child as a switch to beat the other parent. And a lot of kids are victims of mom, dad getting into a fight, and the kid is the switch that they beat the other parent, and the kid is the one that gets broke. So I want to shift a little bit to you, Corey. What kind of father is he? Be truthful.
He's a father that, that you see on TV. You're like, wow, that, I would love to have a father like that. I'm like, wait, I can just go to him. He is my father. So, he protects me like, how any father would. And, he's just really loving, and I'm very thankful for that.
So when you get married one day, you're going to do what? You're going to pick a man just like him?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me, what is it? I know you guys live together every day because you was in separate states, whatever. How did you communicate to him on a regular basis? Did y'all communicate on a regular basis? What was that like?
My thoughts about it really blurry, but I tried to call him. My mom's like, "Oh, your dad bought you something. Go call him and say that you got something." And of course, my goofiness would get a hold of me, and I'd just do something goofy, and I would be like, "Oh, happy birthday, Dad!" Or I'd stick my tongue out in the camera. I'd just be really goofy. So I tried, and ever since when I was 6, I was like, "Oh, I have a dad." I have like every parent, I finally have a dad. I finally know who he is. So I try to stay in touch with him, and he tries to stay in touch with me as best as he can.
Right. So how did y'all iron out issues when there were conflicts between you and the mom? How did y'all deal with some of those?
With me and her, really, the mom was really in the situation. With me, I only communicate with her.
Right.
No, with the mom, That way, like you said, you get to talk to the parent, just be cordial, but the child is the main focus. The one main focus being on her.
So the mom allowed you two guys to build that strong relationship.
That's fine.
Yeah, which was good. Which unfortunately, a lot of times that don't happen.
Right.
The mom and the father gets into the conflict, and the kids are not really benefiting from that. So, what are some of the things that you learned from us that helped you to stay focused on being the father, even from a distance?
Just being positive, and doing the right thing for one. Like that, that keep fighting every day, and make sure you tell your child you love her, so they know who you are. Because if the parents, sometimes the mother, they would tell the child, the father, the bad guy, so they grew up with any father. Right. With me, I keep it with my daughter. I got friends now that have problems with their kids, only because the mama said something bad about them.
Right.
Like I tell them though, just focus on the child, and not the mom. Stop letting the mom come to clean y'all. Right. Don't worry about that. So don't learn it from the class. Right. Don't worry about what their parents do. Just do with your child. When they get older, they'll know where to come.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fathers and moms that really don't get along with the kids that suffer. What are some of the qualities that you really see in your dad that makes you so proud of him?
I guess it would be fighting, because I've had like a lot of friends that they're like, "Oh, I hate my father," this and that, and I was like really thankful. Like once I did grow up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a father." I was like really glad that I actually had one, because when I before that, I was like, my friends would be like, "Oh, my dad, you got me this." I'm like, "What's a dad?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" And so I was kind of blank, minded about what a father looked like, how a father would be like. And then, I finally, saw my father for the first time. I was like, wow, it's like, I have a dad. And so I was like really happy about that. I was like, he's here, he didn't give up on me. I actually have something.
Right. And you used to go back and forth to Tennessee and
6 hours there and 6 hours back. 12 hours next.
Right.
14 years.
So y'all had joint custody, or she had primary custody?
She had primary custody. Right. I was started summertime, like 30 days, 14 years on 30 days.
Okay.
Every year. So,
and other than that, y'all communicate phone to phone, those Facebook and all those things. And great. So, what would you tell other fathers that are struggling relationships with their kids, not relating to their kids? Well, let me ask you this question. We'll get to that. What would you say to other guys who are struggling getting along with the mother of the child?
If we want them, they got to let it go. They can't let it bother them or hinder them with the situation trying to see their kids. If you keep fighting with the mom, you always fight with the mom. So you keep something going to the child and see that you're not happy. But if the child see the real you, you do what you got to do. You make sure the child knows you love them, you're there every day, do what you got to do.
So what are some of the things that we taught you that really made you?
Don't lie to the kid. You say you coming there, be there. Anything you tell them, they remember.
Right.
So that's one thing. You got to be honest with the kids. The kids never forget nothing.
How much were you involved in your academic life? I know you separated from her.
Well, only involvement I had with her was the mom would tell her how good she was doing in school. She'll send me a report card every month.
So you were still definitely involved in it and her education. Yeah. So what are you headed to now, Cole? I know you're 18 years old. Are you
17?
17. You be 18 when?
November.
Okay, November. So you in a senior now? Okay. What school are you going to?
No high school.
Hello. Okay, cool. So this is your first year in Indoor. You moved down here when?
3rd of July.
Yeah.
3rd of July this year. Okay. So you be going to Indoor. So you be graduating next year. What are your plans?
I don't know. I really want to, try to do my best to, get a good job, make my parents proud, and, just kind of focusing on going back and forth to both parents. And, saying, how grateful I am for both of them. And, it's not just one parent or the other parent. It's both parents that, make me the person who I am today. Because some people are like, how are you so patient with this? Or how are you so nice about this? I'm like, you got to thank my parents because, one taught me, to stay in my lane, be calm, think about it. And other parents, like, if you need to do something, do it. But, at the end of the day, you need to drop it or, get scores.
Wow. So you're going to stay in North Carolina? You don't know for sure?
I'm probably either going to go back to mom's and do 2 years in college there and then come back for the next 2 years or just maybe do all 4 years here.
What do you say to kids your age who are living in mom and dad are separated, divorced, and what kind of advice would you give?
One of the biggest ones that I've heard from a lot of people is like, don't give up. There is still hope out there. Even if you were hurt, because lots of people get hurt every single day. I went to my aunt's and one of her friends' grandsons, I guess their mom doesn't get along with them or she just really is absent. And they try to give her, a next shot and be like, oh yeah, I trust you. And then she just leaves. And then they just go back to this state of like anger, confusion. And it was really aggravating because, it's like, how come you want to keep me away? Well, me and my dad, like, why did my mom want to keep me away? But it's like, I understand that, you love me and, you care for me. But, like, what is the difference with him? Like, he needs to, second try, seeing me grow up. And I was like, no, there's no better way of doing it besides, doing it my senior year. And so I'm just really thankful that my mom's like, okay, I'll give it another shot. And so it's kind of like a second shot of, like, rebirth and stuff like that,
So what would you, I know you talk to the kids, what would you think to the parents?
I would say, even if you do have your differences, you do have your dislikes, likes about the other parent, don't do it in front of the kid or just don't show like fake love. Like I've seen it in really many different ways. And to be honest, it's actually affected relationships, like surprisingly, because I'm like, oh, that's what love is supposed to be like. And they're like, no, it's something else. I'm like, that's not what I thought it was like. And so I just say to parents, even if you do have your differences, try to not make it so different that you both are arguing and, doing a friendship.
So, in wrapping this up, I want to, speak to our viewers, and I want those that are watching this, share it with your other co-workers or whatever, parents that are struggling, divorce and separation, sometimes not married. You have a child, and when that those relationship ends, the child is still there. Well, sometimes more than one child. How do people continue to be put their differences aside and focus on the well-being of the child? And that's one of the things that we strive to teach in Fathers Forever, in giving people co-parenting skills of how to get along with the absent father or mom, for that matter, and really focus on doing the well-being of the kids. This is a success story. I'm really, really so proud of you, Lavada. So really taking on the mantle of fatherhood and making sure you stay involved in your child's life and to enjoy and see you from the 6-year-old little girl go to the 18-year-old beautiful young lady now. And I'm really, really proud of you, how you have really loved this man with all your heart, I can tell. And well, and we have a lot of success stories. And oftentimes in Nevada, we call on the news and we hear all the negative stuff about men not taking care of their kids, but this is, and we do. There also, we know that there's some dads out there that's not been good fathers, but there's a whole lot of fathers like yourself and many others who have decided to do the right thing by their kids, and this is the result of it. This is what it is. And also, I'm proud of you and her mom for deciding that you guys were going to put your differences aside and co-parent and make sure this beautiful young lady have a go at life. And she would have to sit back and struggle and wrestle with, do my mom love me? Do my dad love me? Why do they fight all the time? Because often the kids put themselves, they hold themselves responsible, or they blame themselves for the mom and dad, I don't want to say inability to get along, because they have the ability to do it if they choose not to get along. So this is a very, very success story, and I'm so happy to kick off this Where Are They Now segment with Lavada Hobbs and this beautiful daughter. So thank you so much for coming, being a part of this broadcast.
For you, one success.
Yes. We appreciate it so much. Thank you again for coming, beautiful young lady. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing, you have this energy about you. And I'm sure whatever you put your mind to do, whatever field you go into, you're going to excel. You're going to, you can owe part of that to your parents, this man, and your mom as well. But he's had some trials, some things in his life that kind of could have stopped anybody, but he fought through it, got on the other side, and doing well. So you have that go get it spirit. I can tell, and you're energetic, and I think you're going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to bring a lot of people happy. So thank you for coming. I'm so proud of you.
All right, Glenn. That was a good,
amazing
interview. I enjoyed it as a listener, and I hope our viewers. That was definitely one of our better interviews.
Yeah, really. I'm so glad that it's interesting that Lavada was one of the first. Yeah, one of the first students, and he's the first of this. Where Are They Now? And to hear his story and how he found out about us, and how he started the class, and how it changed his life, relationship with the child's mom and now Chloe. And look at her.
She's a big girl now.
I remember at 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old, I think she said 6, and our staff would have to, when the father had her, but he didn't have her all the time,
right?
Because they lived in different cities or whatever. But when he had her, he would bring her to class,
right?
And our staff would have to watch her. And she was a big little girl, but she's always the sweetest little girl. And I'm so glad that she's grown up to be a very lovely young woman. I think she's going to go great. She's got a bubbling personality. She's in the 12th grade. She's going to be graduating coming up in the
next year. Yeah, she's. You could see the love between father and daughter, father. It was, and it was authentic.
Yes, authentic. Yeah, and I really glad that, this is a success story on so many levels.
Right.
The relationship between the father and the daughter is very, very important, as statistics have shown us.
Yes.
How little women look for qualities in their father when they're looking for a mate. And that's a good thing to do.
Right.
You got that good quality now.
You need that example.
The examples, but if you are not there, then you're not. So you can, you can not, do things the other side of the coin. So I'm very, very proud of Lavada and very, very proud of his daughter. Chloe, and we thank them so much for coming and be a part of this. Where Are They Now segment?
I like it.
Chatting to you.
Yeah. And I'm just going to piggyback on something, and I know we're getting ready to close, but that was 2008. Today is 2021, but the message.
2023. So you started.
I started in 21, but this is 23. The message hasn't changed.
The message hasn't changed.
But it still
It
applies.
still applies, yes. Principles and truth does not change. And that's what we try to build our fatherhood program on, authentic principles and truths that 50 years from now, this is going to stay.
Same. Yes.
Yeah. So to our viewers, we say thank you so much for visiting our podcast again. And we really appreciate. Don't forget to like us and subscribe to us when we come on. Share this video with your friends who may be struggling with co-parenting. Those who are not co-parenting, just share it with them as well. So until we meet again, we'll say so long and be safe.
Bye.
Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 12 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you've heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fathers Forever University. My name is Glenn Warren, and I will be your instructor. Fathers Forever University is a remote learning experience where we take our 12-week class, and we meet here every Thursday night from 6 until 7, and we talk about fatherhood. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about where your child support money is going. We teach classes about fatherhood and how important it is to be in your child's life. So these 12 weeks is going to be very important for you guys to understand and the concept of fatherhood and what we're trying to teach you. Fathers Forever University is broken down into 12 weeks, and you can start at any time during those 12 weeks. The key to it is finishing those 12 weeks. Every lesson is in lecture format, where you listen to that lecture, and then on Thursday nights, we discuss that lecture. The Thursday night discussion is where your homework will be due. Part of your homework assignment every Thursday night is to, 1, we'll ask you the question, what did you learn? And the second question, how am I going to apply what I learned? We also have specific assignments for each lesson in the notes below. This has been an introduction into Fathers Forever University. Now let's get started in lesson 1.